All right, let's talk about area of a trapezoid. Area of a trapezoid, again, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of divide it up into objects that we know how to find the formula for, or we know the formula of. So if you look at this trapezoid, and if we look at this as two different triangles, I can find the area of this triangle using, this is my base, which we're going to call A, and this is my height. So 1/2 base times height, that gives me this one. And then notice this is a different base, but this is still the same height. Still the same height. So it's a different base. We're going to call it B, but it's still 1/2 base times height. Let's see if I can clear all this. Okay, so right now I have the area of one of the triangles and the area of the other triangle, and I'm going to add those together. Well, what is easier is an easier formula to use is if we were to combine these together. So the way we combine them is technically what we're doing is we're factoring out what they have in common. So they both have a 1/2, so we factor that out, and they both have an H. So we factor that out as well, and so we're left with A plus B. You don't need to know how to combine those. Just know that the formula is 1/2 height times the quantity A plus B. Now A plus B, remember, those are the two different bases, okay? In fact, a lot of times you'll see this formula written like this, 1/2 height, and they'll write it as B plus B to indicate base and base. Or sometimes you'll even see it like this, B sub 1 plus B sub 2, right? The two different bases. It doesn't matter how it's written. You're just going to take these two sides and add them up, multiply times the height, and take half of it. Okay. So once again, the area, 1/2 times the height, and then the two different bases added together. All right, so, and don't forget the height. Remember, that's perpendicular, okay? So watch for this little square right there. So 1/2, all right, the height is 13. All right, and my two different bases, so we have 46, and we've got 32. And all right, remember, order of operations, we do grouping parentheses first, so we're going to add these two together, which is going to give me 78. And now I'm going to multiply those, and I'm not even going to try and do it in my head. So we've got times 13. I got 507. Feet, and its area, so feet squared. Okay, circles. A circle is a set of points in the plane equally distant from a given point called the center. The distance between the center and the circle is the radius, and plural for radius is radii. We pronounce that radii. They all have the same length, so the radius, okay, here is the center, so my radius goes from the center to the circle. The diameter goes all the way from side to side through the center. All right, so here is going to be my diameter. Notice there are 1, 2 radii to make up the entire diameter. So the diameter is equal to 2 of my radii. All right, circumference, the formula for circumference, this isn't something that you're just going to intuitively know, and it's not something that I can really describe how they came up with the formula. But the circumference is 2 times pi times the radius, or remember 2 radii make 1 diameter. So if you do pi times the diameter, that will also give you the circumference. So either of these formulas will work. They are the same formula. Okay. So since they gave us the diameter, which is 40, we're going to use that formula. So we're going to do 40 times pi. I want you to use the pi button on your calculator. So when you use the pi button on your calculator, it's more exact, and it's going to give you a lot of decimals. And I don't remember where my pi button is. Here we go, I found it. All right, so it's going to give me a lot of decimals. And it will probably tell you how many decimal places it wants you to round to. So let's suppose it said round to 3 decimal places, okay? So if it said round to 3 decimal places, or if it said round to the nearest thousandth, that's 3 decimal places, then we're going to keep 3 decimal places, okay? And everything over here is going to drop off. But to determine whether or not this stays a 3 or goes to a 4, we check the number next door. So 125.66, that's not going to change. And we're going to keep this digit, but if it's going to be a 3 or is it going to be 4? That's the question. So if this number is 5 or greater, then this gets rounded up to a 4. But if this number is less than 5, then this would stay a 3. Make sure you're rounding correctly. I do actually deduct points for improper rounding, and the computer doesn't like improper rounding either. They will flat out mark it wrong. So make sure that you are rounding correctly. If they say round it to 3 decimal places, make sure you round it correctly to 3 decimal places. And that would be in yards. Circumference is similar to perimeter. It's the outside edge. It's all the way around the outside. Okay, it's all the way around the outside. So that would be yards, would be the unit on that. Okay. Turns out that they wanted it rounded to 1 decimal place, although they didn't tell us that. So look for that. They should tell you. If they don't tell you and you get it wrong because they didn't tell you, let me know so that I can fix that. Okay, which is the better buy? Usually when we're talking about better buy, we're talking about something that you can get at the grocery store where it's priced per ounce or per pound. But in this case, we're talking about pizza, which is generally not priced per ounce or per pound. What pizza is generally priced, like a small pizza or a medium pizza or a large pizza. And the way they determine small, medium, large pizzas, that's the diameter. When they say a 16-inch pizza, they're talking about the diameter is 16 inches. So I want you to be careful with this. Be really careful with this, because everybody, like, I don't know why, but everybody who does this problem always figures out the price per circumference, which is wrong. Okay, it's not. It's price for the area. Okay. The way I like to think of it is when you're buying pizza, you're not just going to eat the crust. Okay. That would be the circumference. Okay. You're not just eating this, you're eating the entire pizza. Okay. You're not, unless you're an unusual person, I suppose people are out there, but generally when you eat a pizza, you eat all the stuff in the middle. And when we say all the stuff in the middle, that's area. Okay. So to find the better buy, we have to find the area of the large pizza and we have to find the area of the small pizza. And then we're going to find the price per square inch is how that works. Okay. So we've got to find the area of the large pizza. Use a little L for large, which is going to be area, formula for area, I don't think I talked about this yet, pi times the radius squared. Be careful because this is the diameter, not the radius. Okay, so pi times the radius, well, if the diameter is 16, the radius only goes halfway across, which is going to be 8. All right, so we've got 64 pi. I'm going to leave that right now as 64 pi. Remember, wait as long as you can to convert it to a decimal. And we don't have to convert it quite yet, so just hold off. We'll just leave it at 64 pi right now. Now the area for the medium pizza is going to be the same formula, pi times the radius. This is 8-inch. It's a small medium, but anyway. 8-inch is the diameter, so half of the diameter would be 4. That's my radius. So 4 times 4 is 16 pi. Okay. All right, so this is the area of the large pizza. This is the area of the medium pizza. We want to find the price per square inch. This is square inch, square inch. So we're going to take for our large pizza is $15 price per 64 pi. And we're going to figure out what that is. And then we're going to do the same thing for the medium pizza. So this is my large pizza. And then for the medium pizza, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to find the price, $7.50 per square inch, 16 pi. This is where you're going to actually plug it into a calculator. Okay, so I probably should have done it ahead of time, but I didn't. 15 divided by, don't forget to use the pi button on your calculator. And I get, usually when we are talking about money, we round to the nearest cent is usually how we do that. So this one is approximately 7 cents per square inch. And let's do the medium divided by 16. And again, use the pi button. Oh, gosh. That's pretty expensive. That would be, remember to round correctly. That's going to give us 15. It's 0.149, which would round to 15 cents per square inch. Okay, now, a lot of people, when they're talking about better buy, they're like, oh, more is better, more is better, more, not when it comes to paying money. When you're paying money, less is better. We want to pay less, pay less, pay less. So that used to be a shoe store. Paying less when we're talking about better buy. And there we go. So the large pizza is the better buy.